bed over by the water tank, praying, relaxing. Got his little beads on. Got all the potential for it to just grow everywhere. Now for my rhubarb petunias that look very sad, but I'll just scatter them around the veggie patch. Look at this little big tray of plants I brought from work. We're going to do some planting. There's a mixture of things in there. Let me show you. I have got a collection of phone in my pocket, stabbing me. Ornamentals and edibles. I've got a few trays of very sad looking petunias. These were from work. They were going to get thrown out, but I thought I'll take them home and chuck them in and we'll see what happens. I'm sure they'll come good. I mean, personally, I'm not a huge petunia fan, but I didn't have to pay for them, so I'm going to just throw them in anyway. They can add a little bit of colour. I've decided to put a second grapevine up the back. Pink ladyfinger. With my other grapevine on my big arbor, my big wire arbor tunnel. And I found some cannas. So I've previously talked about the Queensland arrowroot, which is a type of canna. We got cannas in at work. They weren't obviously the Queensland arrowroot, but I figured they would work just the same in my method of chopping and dropping, a la following on from Sustainable Holly's, what she does with chops and drops her cannas that she grows. That's an orange one. So hopefully they grow prolifically and then I can just chop and drop them and add some nutrients back into the soil. And I'm going to start growing, well, I have started growing more flowering plants that I can do for like cut flowers. And someone at work suggested, why not grow some artichokes? Because they have their big thistle flowers, which look very cool. Now I know these can get a bit weedy and can spread, but I'm going to grow them out the back where there's plenty of room. And I'm going to grow rhubarb. I've got one of my big round raised beds is going to be a dedicated rhubarb bed. So it can grow in there and fill it out, and then I can make my own rhubarby things. Are you a fan of rhubarb? Let me know in the comments. Another protea to go with my cut flower collection. And also some statice, the limoniums, which make good cut flowers as a bit of a filler to go in like a vase, because they have their dry purpley flowers, so I got a couple of those. And I've had these other ones that I got the other week that I haven't planted yet. Some daisies. I liked the pink with the purpley centres to them. So I'm going to plant that one somewhere. A big salvia. This one's Coral Delight, which gets up to 2 meters. And it's a very like orangey, corally coloured flower. And a helenium. Helenium, which is a type of sunflower. Honeycomb hula. And it's a perennial. So it will continue to grow. They do look very similar to like echinaceas, where the petals sort of fall back. So that is also quite a tall one. Oh no, not too tall. 1.2 meters. So that's going to keep me busy today, planting all of those. Let's get to it. You know what my biggest problem is? I can't commit or decide where to plant them. That's the hardest part in this whole planting journey. Now, salvia, 2 meter tall salvia. This one says part sun. And it's a winter flowering. Could plant it on this side. And then my daisy. Full sun to part shade. I think the salvia can go over here under the Chinese elm, which will be shady for most of the day, but then it will get the full afternoon sun. So I think the full afternoon sun counts for, I mean, that's the hottest sun. The hottest sun. And my pink daisy. Do you know what I am going to do? Is this Myoporum? I think there's only like 2 or 3 plants here. So it is getting quite large. And I think I'm going to trim it back. Just so it's not strangling out other plants. And I could put the daisy just here. Stay. Now these 2 limonium, I think I'm going to put in my little bed over by the water tank, because they will be able to handle the hot sun. I stick them in here. One there and one over there. Or keep them together. Maybe keep them together. Rhubarb in the veggie bed. I've got this bed here, and I think I'm just going to dedicate the whole bed to the rhubarb, and it can just fill out and be a big rhubarby bed. And the cannas are going to live here in the food forest. Stick one in here, and then another one over here behind the apple, I reckon. King Protea is, although a King Protea only grows to 1 meter in height. And then the sunflowers. Okay. King Protea can go here next to that weed. Look at my bottle brush. Currently in flower. And then sunflower can come up the back here. Right there. And then the petunias, I think I'm just going to dot them around, probably in the veggie beds. Just stick them on the edges and see how they go. But I do need to go get some compost, so I can add a bit of compost in with my planting. I went and bought a bag of compost to pot my pots, pot my plants. Yeah. All right. Put some gloves on. Stop my hands from getting dirty, too dirty at least. So I'm just going to add probably just a little handful. A little handful. Should have opened it before I put bugs on. Although I love salvias, the problem I find, especially with having a dog, is they can snap, well, depending on the type of salvia, but they can snap pretty easily, the branches. And if you've got a crazy dog like Ace running around the garden, then that happens more often than I'd like. And then the daisy, I've already come in and chopped a bit of this myporum out of the way. Daisy can live here. Weeds. Weedy weeds. Oh, fly. Buzz off. Buzz off. While I'm over here, pull out some of these weeds. I need to take this mesh off so I can get this weed, this big thistly weed that's grown behind the mesh. And I'm not growing anything up the fence anymore, so I can use that mesh elsewhere. Hey, out of the garden. I love a garden statue. I don't care if they're kitschy. I've got this cute little tortoise, turtle, whatever he is. I don't know if he's supposed to be like a praying, relaxing. He's got his little beads on. And I've got just a dragon here, so I'm thinking maybe of swapping him around. Got the little sleeping dragon on the tree stump. If I put the dragon somewhere else, and I'll put the turtle here. I think he's cute, like that, on the stump. And then, little sleeping dragon. Gotta find somewhere else to put him. Can you see my little Davidson plum. Looks very sad. Don't know why. Probably because I'm in South Australia and not the tropics. Can I get an amen? Let's hope these go crazy and then I can use them as a mulch. And then they'll also offer a bit of protection as well from the other plants. Create a bit of a little microclimate. Get away. This weedy grass that just runs. It's impossible to get rid of. Look at that. We've got all the potential for it to just grow everywhere. You can't. Get out of the way. Starting to rain. Now for my rhubarb bed. Rhubarb cherry red. I've had so much rain lately that I think it is not doing favours for any of my veggies. My tomatoes, chilies. It's definitely causing some damage. Let's hope they're going to be alright. And I've got some of these petunias that look very sad, but I'll just scatter them around the veggie patch. If they die, they die, but if they come back to life and start flowering, then that's a win. Just scattering all sorts of flowers around each patch. There's some echinacea, I've got marigolds, cosmos and zinnias. I've even added in some dahlias to some of the beds. This is my last bed that I've just cleared, and I moved the middle panels. Got rid of them, put one at the end here. So I reckon I'll put up a cucumber maybe to climb this. And then I've got some very leggy tomatoes that have been in my greenhouse. I will need to get those in ASAP before they start to, I don't know, we'll see how they go. Well, it's been a few days since I've last filmed, and as you can see, this bed is now planted out. Got some basil, my petunias, which got some new shoots coming up on them. My sad tomatoes, which I've laid sideways. They will right themselves eventually, but hopefully they create a big, strong root system under the ground. A little eggplant over there. My overwintered capsicum, which is shooting fresh new growth, and this sorrel, which I did leave in. Over here I did sow some cucumber seeds in the greenhouse. They came up, but then they just didn't do anything and they just sort of died. So that was a bit annoying. So I've just got some more seeds and I've just direct sown against the mesh. I hope that they come up and will grow nice and big and the birds don't get them. We will see. But that is where we will end it today. Thank you again for joining me in my garden. Lots of things got planted. If you did enjoy that, be sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And as I mentioned last week, I have started it. You right? I have created a YouTube membership. So that is within YouTube, you pay a monthly fee and you get some extras. And it would really help support the channel. So you get exclusive content. All right, settle down. Exclusive content, early access to videos, and I've got some stickers that I had made up. So for anyone that joins, I'm going to send out a sticker pack. Let me show you the stickers. A very cute gardening with Michael sticker. And these two others that I had made up. Little chicken with his nasturtium, or her nasturtiums, and holding some silver beet. So I will send out those to anyone who joins my membership this week. But as always, happy gardening, and we'll see you next weekend. Bye.